Hi everyone. So just firstly a little welcome and thank you for that great introduction. So we won't talk too much about me and who I am, but essentially I specialize in LinkedIn personal branding and I've got over 10 years in recruitment and personal branding experience. So helping executive founders and I suppose various levels of individuals be able to stand out on LinkedIn, but all with the goal of attracting more opportunities, whether that's from a client basis or from a job hunting basis, on how to use LinkedIn, leverage it for your own advantage. I've got over 33,000 followers, and that's grown via the content that I'm pushing out and via some of the LinkedIn Live series that I'm actually doing as well. So if you are looking to be getting more advice with LinkedIn and how to use it, then you can also come and follow me on LinkedIn to get that. So today, what you'll learn is how to position yourself, so how to stand out as a top candidate online. In the market, there will be lots of different candidates, and it's about how you can differentiate yourself to stand out, to get more opportunities, to become noticeable, and also to be at the top of the list when it comes to recruiters and employers. How to optimize your LinkedIn. So, we want to be able to create a profile that gets noticed. How to network effectively. LinkedIn has got over 1 billion members now. So, it's about how can you actually network and leverage those relationships that you make on LinkedIn, and also international strategies. So, how can we help you to stand out and leverage your expertise and your experience with actually being able to get a new opportunity, and also making sure that you are networking and optimizing your profile for your experience as well. So, why LinkedIn matters, I'm sure all of you will know LinkedIn, beyond LinkedIn, or at least trying to navigate LinkedIn. But over 90% of hiring managers review online profiles before interviews. If you're sending a CV, the first thing that recruiters or hiring managers are going to do is look you up on LinkedIn. Firstly, to check that you've got a profile. Secondly, to try and find out a bit more about you, what your past is, where you've been studying, and anything more they can kind of grasp about your personality, your hobbies, your interests. Everyone will be looking on LinkedIn. I'd say it's probably slightly higher than 90%, but at least 90% of hiring managers do review online profiles. It's also 24/7 working for you. So even when you're not applying, obviously with a CV, you want to keep applying for different roles, but it's working for you as a job searching tool, even when you're not actually actively applying. So you want to be using it to attract new opportunities to you. And also, it's three in one digital presence. So it's your personality, your CV, and your achievements all combined. Because again, your LinkedIn, we want to be getting across what you've done, what you want to do, but also a bit more about your personality and your CV all on that profile. A lot of the times when it comes to LinkedIn and when it comes to even trying to search for a new role, a lot of the times where people struggle and why they don't end up getting an opportunity or why they end up just blending in with everyone else is because you're not clear enough and you're not specific enough about what you want to be known for, what kind of job you want, who you actually are. And this is probably one of the most key things that you can get clear on, and the key things to focus on if you actually are serious about getting a new job, getting the best job as well, but also being able to differentiate yourself. Because what will happen when hiring managers looking at CVs and also recruiters and internal teams, they want to make sure that you know exactly what you want to be known for, what you do, but also what you can bring to the table. So clarity equals visibility. Be specific about your expertise and also what you've been doing, what your hobbies are, what your interests are. So here's a formula that you can follow. I'm an international, and then you can put your degree level in, and then insert your field with experience in, and you can put some of your experience, even if it's light experience, even if you've not got lots of experience, just put anything that you can think of that you've actually got and that you've done that you could bring to the table. I'm passionate about, and then you can fill in what problem you care about and your industry focus, who you support. So I support, and what type of organization you want to support. Again, if you've not got much experience, don't worry. You can do this as a desirable what you want to do in achieving desired result or solution by using your method or unique strength. I'm currently seeking, and then you can insert the type of role and opportunities in industry. So think about really defining your niche, what you want to be doing, what type of role you want to be going for, what type of company. Because if you can get clear on this when you're speaking with hiring managers, with recruiters, you're going to make it a lot easier to articulate that both in writing and when you're on a call with them.
Keisha, is there any chance of just hiding that the Zoom bar, please?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you very much.
Is that better now?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Perfect. With your LinkedIn profile, there's some essentials that you want to make sure that you get right. First, it's the visual elements. So it's a professional photo. So by that I mean in a light space so that people can see your face. It can be one that you've taken yourself. Don't worry too much about getting, and some paying for someone to do it. Can literally just be one that you've taken on a smartphone, but just make sure that it's well lit and it's just of you in there. You don't want there to be lots of different people. And also, we want to get a cover banner. So essentially, cover banners are quite easy to do now. There's lots of different ways we can get them, but Canva is a free tool that you can use. There is a paid version, but you won't need the paid version just to make a banner that you can put behind your face here. So if you haven't got a profile photo and a banner, that's the first thing that I would um, get right, because that your LinkedIn should be bringing your personality to life, and it should be making people feel like they can connect with you via seeing you, via kind of seeing some more about you. So definitely you want to get your photo up there. Then it's your headline and your about summary. So with your headline, you want to show value, tell your story, and include keywords. So your headline will be this bit here. So just underneath it, Sophia's name, she's got a headline. I would want to still add more on that, so we'll go through to that shortly. But you want to have something in there about what you do and what you're looking to do. And then your about summary, we want to talk more about it's almost like your show, your sales page for you as a person, as for you as your CV, but put that onto your LinkedIn. And then your experience and skills. So focus on impact and align with your target job. You may not have lots of experience yet, but anything that you can hone in on, whether it's experience through university, whether it's experience through volunteering, whatever it may be, we just want to get across anything that we can to showcase who you are and what you can bring to the table, essentially. And also more about kind of your passions, your interests, and what you're trying to do as well. So this bit is quite important because it's, again, back to this bit which is underneath Sophia's name. This bit is what's going to be searchable on LinkedIn, and also the first thing that people see when they look at your profile. So they'll see your picture, they'll see your cover banner, but they'll also see your headline, and it's what's going to be searchable. So what's going to help you to get found on LinkedIn. So here's some templates that you can use, essentially make your own. So the formula is your key skills. So what are your key skills? So for me, it may be personal branding, LinkedIn marketing. Then the role that you're seeking. So what role are you actually looking for? And then industry focus or value you bring. So here's some examples. So Python, SQL, Power BI, aspiring data analyst, turning data into insights. The reason why this is good is because it's got keywords in there, so you're going to get found. It's also talking around what you're aspiring to do, but then it's got a bit of an impact statement there and a caption, which is nice because it helps people understand what you do. The next one is CEO, content analytics, graduate marketing assistant, helping brands grow online. Again, it's keyword optimized. Also, it tells them that you're a graduate, and it tells them in a statement what you do. And the next one is UX, UI, Figma, user testing, entry level product designer, designing for human impact. So always be thinking the jobs that you're going for, what are they? What jobs are they? Try and get them in your headline, because again, when people are searching for you, whether it's hiring managers, recruiters, whoever it may be that's searching for you as a candidate or looking you up once you've applied, you want to make sure that these words are in your headline of whatever job you're applying for. Make sure that's clear in your headline. Template 2, so this is a slightly different angle of how you can look at it. So it's your degree, top tools, and then open to the type of role that you're looking for. So MSc Cybersecurity, ISO 27001, risk, open to graduate and set roles. And then obviously you can see the other two examples here, but essentially talking about you're open for a new role, but it's also keyword optimized here. So formula is your degree, the top tools that you use, but also open to and what opportunities you're open to, just to make it super clear where you're at, what you're looking to do. And then template 3, so this is more passionate led, but also looking at the role type and personal focus. So passionate about inclusive design, then they've got keywords of UX graduate, and then building accessible user experiences. Next one is passionate about climate tech, aspiring consultant, help businesses go net zero. And then the next example is passionate about health equality, public health graduate, driving data informed change. So what you've got there is three different templates that you can use for your headline. Makes it super simple for you to essentially input that information. But if you haven't got anything in your headline right now, you're not going to be able to get searched for. No one's going to know what you even do. But also, if someone does find your CV, then they're going to look you up online. It's going to make it a little bit more difficult for them to see actually what you do. So it's making sure that if you're looking to stand out amongst other candidates that are applying, make sure that your LinkedIn and your CV are both updated to be clear as to what you do and keywords in there as well, so you are searchable. With your LinkedIn About section, this is something that not everyone actually has, or not a lot of people take the time to fill it out, but I would 100% make sure you spend some time to fill out your About summary section. On your LinkedIn profile, you'll find it under summary, or it's called About summary, but this is where you've got the most amount of free text to essentially write, to tell your story, to tell people what you do, what you care about, what you're passionate about. You've got 2,600 characters there to essentially write and set the scene up for a hiring manager as to who you are, what degree you've got, what you care about, what you've done, what you're looking to achieve essentially. So here's a little formula that you can use. Obviously, this is just a brief example. You want to make it longer than that, but just as a starter for you to get something going. Mention your move abroad and academic focus, or you can mention who you are, what your background is, and where like what your journey's been so far. Highlight core technical or soft skills. Um, Soft skills and personality are just as important as your technical and kind of um, actual skill set. So make sure that you get that across as well. Refer to one project or achievement. So talk around something that you've achieved within your career so far or within actually university, and state your career aspirations. So again, it's your job to make it really clear to hiring managers what you're looking for, what it is, what your goal is. So here's I'm now looking for a graduate data analyst role in the UK where I contribute to decision making through data. So make it really clear to people what you do, and also I suppose a bit about your journey so far as well. If you haven't got an about summary, don't worry, but it's definitely something that you want to get inputted into your LinkedIn. It also makes you a lot more searchable as well. So having your headline and your about summary filled in just helps with searchability for recruiters. Template 2, so this is technical skills and experience and your goals. So this formula is list 3 to 4 skills or tools that you've used, mention any academic internship or project-based experience, and share what kind of role you're seeking. So here's an example. As an MSc cybersecurity student from Japan, I've gained hands-on experience with ISO 27001 compliance, threat modeling, and penetration testing. During a team simulation, I led our group incident response plan and received a top grade for strategy. I'm currently seeking roles in in risk analysis or security compliance in the UK tech sector. So this has made it super clear what you do, a bit about your experience, a bit about what you've led, and also what you're looking to get into next. So again, you're making it really clear for hiring managers to learn about you, to know who you are, but also you've made it really clear as to exactly what you're looking for. And then that will help them with being able to put you in the right positions and also have the right positions available for you. Template 3 for your about summary is your passion, practical experience, and what you offer. So the formula for this one is start with your interest in your field, then back it up with real skills and work, and then end with how you want to add value. So a lot of this you'll see is ending with how you want to add value, or ending with what kind of role you want to go into. So this one is I'm passionate about helping organizations communicate across borders. As a Japanese student pursuing an MSc in marketing, I developed skills in digital campaigns, content creation, and customer behavior analysis. I recently helped a nonprofit improve its social media engagement through multilingual messaging. I hope to bring this global mindset to a marketing or communications role in the UK. Obviously, depend on your background and where you're from and what you've actually achieved within your university and with your studies. You want to change this and adapt to you, but it's just giving you some ideas and examples for that and how you can use it for your about summary. One of the key things with LinkedIn is you've literally have got untapped potential of contacts, influencers, people that you can leverage, whether that's alumni, recruiters, industry peers, it could be a direct hiring manager, but you literally have got untapped potential of connections. And my advice is leverage LinkedIn, reach out to as many people as you can who could be of benefit to you, and connect when you connect with them, put a brief message to tell them that you've recently finished a degree, you've recently completed a degree, and you're now looking for whatever role you're looking for. But just send out those connection requests each week. LinkedIn give you a new batch of connection requests that you can send out. So it's about 150, but you can push it slightly more. It'll tell you when you can't send out any more. Essentially, you can send out connection requests every single week, and these are to new connections. If you get those accepted, then you get more. But essentially, if I were you, I would focus on growing your network with people who could support you in your career. They could either help you now or in a few years' time, but just grow your network with people who could help you and support you. So this could be alumni, it could be recruiters, it could be industry peers, it could be hiring managers, it could be anyone that you feel that's in the industry that could be a benefit to you. So grow your network, because you never know where the opportunity may come from. So you can find them via company pages, via the university alumni tab, but also if you just search for keywords at the top when you're on your home screen, there's a search bar and you can search by people in there. And it's really quite simple to be able to send those connection requests out and then build relationships. So follow up and provide value, or provide a conversation really. If someone connects with you, then follow up with them and just say, thanks for connecting. I wanted to reach out because I'm now looking for a new role. I wonder if you could help me, or kind of, I wonder if there's anything that we can do in terms of having a conversation to see if there's any way that we can work together, or that you can support me with my search, because you never know where those opportunities are going to come from. And it just may be that one person that actually gets back to you and say, yeah, actually, we've got an opportunity for you here. Or it could be someone in alumni and say, actually, I've started somewhere. They're looking for someone new. I'll put a feeler out for you. So growing your network and actually having real conversations with people is one way to differentiate yourself, because not a lot of people are doing it well. So I would definitely be growing your network and do it every single week. Grow your network, send out connection requests, and do those follow ups, and reach out with personalized messaging, showing genuine interest. So as we all know, messaging and actually being human and being able to conversate with people is really important. So when someone does connect with you, do follow up with a message and do kind of continue that conversation with them. So how to find jobs on LinkedIn. So I'm sure most of you have got a LinkedIn account now, but there is a LinkedIn jobs section which you'll probably have seen. If not, I'll show you kind of where it is. But it's really good tool to be able to, one, find jobs that are currently available, but also be able to follow up with the people who are hiring and who have actually posted the job. So that's, I'll give you some, I suppose, tips and help with that. So first, you want to make sure that you're filtering effectively. Filter by things like location, experience level, whether it's remote or on-site or hybrid. Use keywords. So you may want to use keywords, things like graduate program or visa sponsorship, or other keywords of kind of the types of roles that you're looking for. And then you want to also switch on the save searches feature, which will enable alerts for new opportunities for you. Again, so when a job comes available, it'll alert you via email to say, hi, we've just had this new role become available. Are you interested in applying? And that will help you be able to get your application in, one of the first, and again, be able to stand out from the other candidates. So if you are on your home screen, so this is your home screen here on LinkedIn, this is where you'll find the jobs tab. So again, this jobs tab is in the middle, and then here you can put in your keywords. Again, I just did this as an example, but you can have a little play around with it um, using various keywords and see what comes up for you in terms of what you're looking for. But here we can see visa sponsorship graduate, and there's lots of different roles here that are available. Got Sebastian you here as an example, but essentially what you do here is click apply. And then what I would always do, which not everyone does, but this is one way to stand out and show genuine interest over other candidates, is I would look at who's actually posted the job. So here we can see Sebastian, someone that we could reach out to. It will generally, unless they've hid it, show who's hiring for the job. Most people leave that on because they want to get good applicants. I would then message or at least send a connection request to the person that's posted the job and say something along the lines of, "Hi Sebastian, I've noticed that you're hiring for a graduate software developer. I'm really keen in applying for this. I've got XYZ experience, or I've recently finished my degree in XYZ. I've also applied online. Be great to connect." So do what you can to stand out, do what you can to show that interest, do what you can to not just be another CV um, in the kind of file of people that have applied. So if you can see here, over 100 people clicked apply directly, but not many people would have actually connected with the hiring manager and sent out a message. So it's another way of showing, one, that you're genuinely interested, two, show that personality, but three, that you care and that you are going the extra mile. So here's a LinkedIn message template that you can use when applying for roles. Hi, and then obviously insert their name. That personalization is really important, so do make sure you add in their name. I hope you're doing well. I recently saw your post about, and then you can insert what the job title is about, at, and then their company name. And I wanted to reach out to express my interest. I'm an international graduate with, and then you can talk around what your degree is, from where, and I've experience in, and then again, you can talk around 2 to 3 relevant skills for the job. I'm particularly interested in this role because it aligns with my background in, and then brief mention of your relevant experience or passions or interests. I'd be grateful for the chance to be considered. I'm happy to send over my CV or any additional details. Thank you for your time. Look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, and you can put your name or many thanks in your name. So use something along the lines of this because again, it just makes you stand out. It shows that you've done your research. You've actually reached out to the people that work there, and you care about the role. You care to actually send that message and do an additional step that other people aren't doing by just clicking apply. And you'll have a lot more interest and a lot more opportunity just via doing that. A lot of candidates will just do the easy, quick apply, but think, how can I actually build a relationship with this hiring manager? How can I actually show that I'm human, show that I care? And it's by connecting with them and sending a message when you have seen that a role. So apply, but then also send out a message. With LinkedIn and with most social media, but definitely LinkedIn for looking for a new job and being able to get new opportunities, the best thing you can do to show your personality, to show your experience, show your skills is actually by posting content. So it may feel quite daunting. Some of you may have already started posting content already, but if you haven't, I've just put some easy content ideas that you can use. So you can talk around why I chose this field. So you can share your origin story with a campus selfie or your first day photo. Obviously, you can talk around your time at university as you've like left. You can talk around anything, but just show a bit of a behind the scenes as to what you've been through and kind of a bit about your journey. Project lessons, so you can demonstrate problem solving skills with screenshots or walkthrough videos. New skills showcase, and we'll go through some of these in a bit more detail. Industry trend analysis, company updates, personal milestones, so you can celebrate achievements with timeline graphics or reflection videos. Mentor appreciation, show gratitude with department photos or feedback screenshots. So this could be someone that's supported you with your career, or something that's someone who's actually helped you, and kind of giving, I suppose, praise to them. Advice for others, so you could create a simple checklist or infographic with lessons learned so far. That could be as an international student or something that you've done within your degree. Helpful resources and job search journey. You can document progress with your graphics or your workspace photos. So it's quite good to let people into behind the scenes as to what you're actually doing and a bit about who you are as well. So with why I chose this field, your origin story and motivation. So you can do things like, I moved to the UK to pursue cybersecurity because I want to help people build safer digital systems. With this, you could have a picture, a selfie at your university, a photo from your first day in the UK or on a campus shop, or a simple talking head video sharing your why. The videos can feel more daunting and more nerve wracking, but if you can push yourself and push your comfort zones to post a video, I would really recommend it because there's only 1% of LinkedIn users who are posting content on a weekly basis. So if you then are going to be able to post video content, you're going to differentiate yourself by a lot because, like I say, a lot of people still aren't posting content. So if you can do it, you're going to make yourself stand out amongst competition and amongst other candidates. Number two is lessons from a project or assignment. Show how you solve problems. So in my data modeling project, here's what I learned about working with real clients. And the visual suggestion would be a screenshot of your project, dashboard, or code, or you can make a Canva graphic summarizing key takeaways. Like I say, Canva is really easy to use and it's kind of beginner friendly. So if you are looking to make some images, I would definitely recommend Canva, or general screenshots of projects or pictures or behind the scenes photos work really well on LinkedIn as well. Number three is a tool or skill you're learning. So just built my first Power BI dashboard. Here's what it looks like and what I'd improve. People really like to get more of a background into you. People like to connect with real people, your story, your journey. So if you can talk people through what you're building, what you're working on, it goes a long way on LinkedIn. People really connect with those types of posts. So a visual suggestion could be before and after images of your work, a timeline of your learning goals, or a short screen recording. So that could be a kind of video, it could be a Loom video. But again, don't make it too complicated. It should really just be quite simple, and you don't have to overthink these things because a lot of the times raw content and simple content works the best. Number four is your take on industry trends. So cybersecurity in 2025, what I think SMEs should be doing right now. And then again, you could either have a photo of your lecture event or webinar, a recent article, it could be a Canva quote. But a lot of the times with these types of things, again, like I say, is keep it simple. But also, just because you're a graduate or just starting out in your job search, it doesn't mean that you haven't got ideas. It doesn't mean that you haven't got input or things that you've been learning or working on. So don't let this put you off posting, because a lot of the times you coming up in actually the working field, you're going to have a lot of fresh ideas which people want to learn about as well, and you're going to be adding to the community and adding to your network. So don't think that you shouldn't be posting because you're new into this as well. People want to learn from you and hear what you've got to say as well. Number five is commentary on a news article. This is quite an easy one to do. You can find an article online that is of interest to what you're looking to get into in terms of on the job front, and then you can talk around it when you can post about it. So exciting to see. Then again, you can put something about the article. Investing in AI. Here's my take as a new grad. Visual suggestion would be a headshot of you, or a reaction video, or a kind of, it could just be a link to the article and their images. This is quite a nice one. Highlight a personal milestone 1 year ago. Again, change it depending on your timescales. I moved to the UK. This week I submitted my thesis and started job hunting. So you could talk around your graduation, dissertation submission, or celebratory moment. So it could be any pictures from graduation, timeline graphics you could do, but when you first came to over to the UK to where you are now. Or an optional could be a short thank you video or a reflection on to, how far you've come and what you're looking to achieve next. This one is back to that thank a mentor. So you could be great. You could say something like, "Grateful to my supervisor or my mentor at your uni. Her support during my project made all the difference." And that you could have a visual of a photo with your mentor, a Canva graphic, or a screenshot of positive feedback. Just a couple more, but these should be quite useful for you to at least get going with content and get something posted in the next week. What I wish I knew post, three things I wish I knew before applying for UK grad jobs as an international student. And then this could just be some reflection as to how you found it, things that you've came across, tips, or things that work well or not so well. Nine, so this is a share a resource that's helped you. This is quite good actually. Sharing free resources or helpful resources that you found are really good for other people who are either in a similar field, or could be for people in terms of a job that your a hiring manager may find it useful, or they may find it actually, if you can post about what you actually studied about and you found a resource to do with that, again, that would be useful. So this free CV guide helped me tailor applications more effectively, sharing it in case it helps others too. This can work really nicely for, again, adding to your network and your community. And this one is really good for documenting and actually sharing a bit behind the scenes as to what you're doing. So week one of job search, CV done, LinkedIn updated, 3 applications sent. So people can actually follow your journey. And then when you do get a role, you can then update everyone and, just landed my new role, really excited to join XYZ. But just bring people along your journey with you, and they will feel like they're actually part of your story then, and be more inclined to help you out as well. So, some visual content tips for graduates on LinkedIn. Use purposeful photos, share well lit photos or project presentations. Campus scenes establish your academic background better than blurry selfies. Selfies you'll see quite a lot of on LinkedIn because people like to buy into real people. But if you have got any that you can take when you're out at events, when you're out, at different kind of webinars, or anything that you can actually take, which is going to be show a bit more about your academic background, that would help also. Showcase your work, include screenshots of projects, dashboards, or portfolio pieces, crop out personal information and messy backgrounds for professionalism. Um, Film brief instructions. This would work really well if you feel like you can push yourself to do it, but it will work really well in terms of differentiating you and making you stand out from other candidates. Record a 30 to 60-second video highlighting your skills and goals. Use natural lighting and speak conversationally to demonstrate your communication abilities. And the fourth one is creating simple graphics. Develop clean infographics using Canva with neutral colours and minimal text. So some ideas of how you can get those visuals for your posts. On LinkedIn, videos and post with visuals, whether it's a photo of you, whether it's a Canva photo, work better for impressions and for reach. So what we want to think about now is reverse engineering success. So to start with, what I want you to do is find 2 to 3 profiles of successful international grads. So this could be people in alumni, it could be people who have been international grad and then they've gone and secured a really cool job or a job that you would like to secure, and look at their profile, look at what they're put in their profile, look at how they've positioned themselves. Study their elements, study things like their headlines, their about summary, content style. I'd even go a step further and reach out to them and tell them a bit about you and what you're looking to achieve and ask if they can connect with you. And it'd be good to kind of speak with them, because you never know, one of those people may say yes, and then they may even have an opportunity in their company, or they may even just be able to help you with what worked for them. And then adapt strategies, make what works your own. So have a look for people that are doing similar to you, that are actually in secured roles. Look at what's working well for them in terms of their profile, and I would also reach out to them and kind of strike up a conversation. And don't be afraid to reach out to people on LinkedIn, because most people are quite friendly and open to the conversation, especially if you personalize the message and be human with it. Then tailor it to the local market, apply your findings, add relevant terms to your profile, look at and identify patterns, note repeated keywords and skills. Again, if it's worked for someone else that are doing what you want to do, put that in your profile. And research jobs. So study 3 to 5 UK-based roles in your field. Look at the types of terms that they've put in their job ad, and make sure that that's in your profile and in your CV as well. Because most likely, if they're looking for certain keywords or certain skills and you've got it, make sure that it is in your profile. So we're almost at the end, but I just want to go through a couple of the common mistakes to avoid, because these I see all the time and they are not going to help you when it comes to looking for a new role. But there are things that you can do that will make sure you stand out times 10 from everybody else. So a vague headline of just saying student is not good enough. You want to be specific, and a competent headline of who you are and what you do. A blank about section, make sure that you actually do tell your unique story and let people know what you do and your skills. Generic connection requests, I'd personalize every message and every connection request that you send. You have far more likelihood for that person to connect with you and have a conversation with you and help you out. And no platform engagement. So if you want to make sure that you are commenting weekly to build visibility, comment on other people's posts, comment on hiring managers' posts, comment on alumni posts, comment on each other's posts. If you are commenting on LinkedIn, they generally reward you by showing your profile to more people, because they can see you're using LinkedIn and actually are adding to the community. So definitely comment. And also then when you comment on their posts, other people will see your comment and see who you are as well. So the final thing that I want to leave you with is the 7-day LinkedIn challenge that I would like you to complete. And at the end of the 7 days, you should already see success and hopefully get some more traction on your LinkedIn, grow your network, and also have real conversations with people that can help you with your job search. So day 1 and 2, update your photo. If you've already got a photo on there, just look at it. Is it good enough? Could I make it better? Could I make it clearer? Are you smiling in the photo? Again, first impressions count. Make sure your headline's updated and your about summary section. Day 3 and 4, connect with 5 people and comment on 3 posts. So in those connection requests, again, make sure that you put a message in there, personalize it, but push your comfort zones and do connect with new people. It's going to help you with growing your network, and it's something that I did early on in my career. I just started sending out loads of connection requests and building relationships with people, because again, relationships and your network is what's going to get you opportunities. Day 5 and 6, draft your and publish your first post. So again, back to those content pieces that we talked around. Day 7, review profile views and insights. Look at, have your profile views gone up? Have your connections gone up? How did your first post perform? And start to think about what you can post next and who you want to grow your network with next. So yeah, that's it from me. But hopefully that summary and the advice that I gave will help you with your search for a new role. And like I say, this 7-day challenge, if you can push yourself to do it, I would definitely recommend it. And I'd be interested to see how you get on. So do connect with me, and I'll look out for your posts as well.
Cool. Thank you very much for that, Keisha. That was very, very informative and thorough. So I think that was probably more useful than the current kind of advice we give as well. So thank you very much for that. That was awesome.
You're
Um,
welcome.
we've had a few questions come through.
Okay.
So the first one was just, is it worth upgrading to LinkedIn Premium? And does this make a big difference? Or what are your kind of thoughts on that?
You can get some benefits from it in terms of you get more in mails, you get more insights. I would probably say generally they give you 30 days free. So I would say try it for the free 30 days. If you're seeing success with it, then keep it. If not, don't. There is benefits to it. They do give you more access to people just because that you're then a paying member. But you don't need it to get a job. So I'd say try the first 30 days for free without paying. See how you get on. But there is ways of growing your network and getting a job without doing it.
Okay, good to hear. I mean, do you think it's worth, if people have the budget for it, it's worth investing in generally, or?
If you have budget, I would recommend doing it just because even things like we haven't covered it in this session because it's a whole other thing to look into, but there's something called a SSI score, which is your social sign index score. LinkedIn already pushed your score up slightly for having premium. So SSI, if your SSI score that LinkedIn give everyone, if it's higher, then your the algorithms they'll push you in your post, your profile. It's just the way that they've structured things, unfortunately or unfortunately. But also, you do have access to more data and insights with premium.
Okay, that's really interesting. So we've got a good question from Nicola here as well, which is, when reaching out to hiring managers, heads of relevant departments, at a company where somebody's applying, um, how can you make sure that you don't overdo it and come across as pushy when communicating, or when trying to sort of get a response from these business leaders? Because I think Nicola's, well, from what I can see with Nicola, he's worried that if he pushes too much, it might actually have a negative impact on the way his application's perceived. So what's the kind of right way to do it and balance that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. For me, I would say send them a connection request that's personalized and tell them that you've just applied for the role that you've seen and that you're really interested and you'd be great to connect. I would look at a few people within the company that could be influential, but definitely the person who has advertised the role. If they don't respond, you can try following up another time. You don't want to push it too much, but it's not going to hurt by sending that connection request because if you don't try, you won't get essentially. But do apply and then do also send out the connection request.
Awesome. And then I guess a kind of general question then, and there's one or two questions around this, would just be, how much should people expect to be ignored and ghosted?
It's
Or like, what's the normal amount to be ignored?
Unfortunately, because recruiters and hiring managers are so busy, which again is not a good excuse, but I know from working in the field myself that it's hard to have the capacity to get back to everyone. And this is why I always say tailor your CV as much as you can for the job opportunity. Follow up with connecting, follow up with a call. But unfortunately, there will be you will get ignored because of capacity levels within hiring managers. But the more tailored your CV can be for that role, the more likelihood you will at least get a call back. But don't be too disheartened if you aren't getting those callbacks, because it's just unfortunately, part of the industry that they're almost too busy with their own things that if you don't match the criteria or if they found someone already, then you're probably not going to get a response, which is unfortunate. And I think things do need to be done around that from a candidate experience. But like I said, don't be disheartened, but just make sure if you are applying for a job and they say on there that you need XYZ skills, or they're really looking for someone is interested or has done this. If you've done it, if you've got any experience in it, make sure that's in your CV because a lot of times people will be looking at keywords in your CV. So you need to make sure that that's in there. Don't presume that they know that you've done that if it's not in your CV.
Okay, awesome. That's really helpful. And hopefully that also answers a question around being ghosted, and just that you can expect, as in we see this a lot with our candidates as well. So they get very, very few responses. But I think the important thing to remember is you only really need one
Yeah.
good response, for it to kind of work out. So
And do the extra things like we talked around today is like go and build your own network because sometimes they may not have even advertised a role, but they may have one because a lot of the times your network is going to help. But then if you do make sure your LinkedIn profile looks good, then you're also applying on LinkedIn, then you're following up. A lot of the times, if the person sees that you're ambitious, you're trying, you're actually passionate. They can see your profile's all filled in. Just that effort that they can see that you put in. It's hard. It's far harder to ignore someone when you've done all the right things. Your profile looks good. You've also sent them a message on LinkedIn, being friendly and just being polite as well, and saying that you've applied. You're doing all the right things to differentiate yourself and show that you've not just clicked one click apply or applied like everybody else. How can you send out that another message, or how can you make sure that your profile looks as good as it can?
Yeah, that's very useful. And we have a good question from Kanishka as well, which is just how can you tailor your LinkedIn profile if you're targeting multiple roles, or what's the best way of doing that? So, for instance, the role types listed here are Python developer, software developer, data analyst. So if
Mhm.
somebody's applying to all of those different role types, what would you recommend in terms of how they tailor their LinkedIn profile?
You can still get those different skills and roles across it. Definitely use your about summary for that, and you can get them in your headline. And then I'll just say, just make sure that your CV is aligned to each individual role that you're going for. And then once you do get that role, obviously just update it. So there's ways that you can still add in different role types, different job titles, but I would say make sure that your CV for each job is then tailored. So in your headline, you could put those three different job titles, for example, but then just make it clear when you are applying why you're interested in that particular role, and when you're doing the message, make sure that you are interested. Obviously, in your LinkedIn, it's a live profile that's always there, so it's not that you can keep changing it for each role that you're going for. But if you definitely want to be going for three individual different roles, then I would just have a kind of a headline as to a summary as to what you do, and then you can just put those keywords as to the role titles.
Okay, awesome. That's very useful. And are there any, because obviously when you're using LinkedIn, you can change your privacy and visibility settings. What
Yeah.
sort of privacy and visibility settings would you recommend for most candidates? So is it useful, for instance, for potential employers to see that you viewed their profile and stuff like that?
That is useful, but also in your profile, make sure that your profile picture and your information is set to public. So when you are applying for roles and they can see your picture, sometimes people have it set to just LinkedIn connections, and then they can't see your picture unless you're connected with them. And it sounds really simple, but seeing your face, seeing your smile, seeing that you're a real person can just make you seem a lot more human. And oh, look, actually, this person applied. Let me have a little look at who they are and what they do. It just makes you more real and more personable. So just make sure that people can see your headline and your picture. So in your visibility settings, set it to set it to public, everything essentially, so that you've got more chance of one getting found, but two, if someone is searching for you, that they can see who you are and kind of your experience.
Okay, awesome. And so we've got a good question here from Shreyas as well, which is
Yeah.
so he was laid off from his last company, and what's the best way to sort of communicate that on LinkedIn? And I guess more generally, if people have, say, gaps in their CV or things like that, how would you recommend positioning that on LinkedIn?
Yeah. So with the you being laid off, firstly, sorry to hear that. But secondly, what I'd do is just in your role, you can just have that as when you work there, and then you can still put that you're open to opportunities now. Then when you're speaking to hiring managers, they may say, "Oh, are you currently working?" or "When was your last role?" And then I suppose at that point, then you can articulate to them, "Oh, I was in a role, but unfortunately, that XYZ happened." You don't need to shout about it on LinkedIn and say, "Oh, I've just got laid off," or, you don't need to put that as, got made redundant or whatever it may be. So I would just put that you've now finished that role, and then go about your applying as normal. And then if the hiring manager asks you, just be ready to answer as to what happened. Obviously, you don't want to make yourself sound like you weren't good at your role. So not saying you were, but just make sure that when you are articulating it to them, you can say, "Oh, they were letting go of a few people. And unfortunately, I was one of them." Whatever the reason is, just have a reason ready as to why that was. But you don't need to shout about it as to on your LinkedIn put got laid off. Just literally put finished in May or whenever it was, April. Now open to new opportunities. So you don't need to go into detail as to what's happened essentially. In your CV, you can still do the same, and with your LinkedIn, I'll just be honest with people when you are, that, "Oh, I finished that role in April, but now I'm effectively looking for new opportunities." I think being honest and being transparent is kind of key, without making it seem like you got laid off because you weren't good at your role, because it obviously wasn't that. So just make sure that people will ask, because hiring manager will want to know, "Oh, so how come that role came to an end?" So just be ready for it with an answer, really.
And then with gaps, what would you recommend doing with that? So if somebody's taking a sort of career break or something, would you try and like fill that in somehow, or just leave it
I would
blank
I
kind of?
would I would just leave it if you're currently having a career break. There's two ways you can either do it. Either literally, write out career break, or just leave it if there's a gap of a month or two, but you're currently looking. You don't need to fill it in with anything right now. Just leave it as is. Generally, if it's a couple of months, people aren't really going to even notice or even have too many questions, especially on LinkedIn, because they'll just see, oh, this is your last role, and then you can update it with your new role when you start. So unless you actually are taking, let's say, 6 months a year career break on purpose, or you're going traveling, then you can input that like traveling or whatever you may be doing, or career break from this time to this time. But if you've literally just been laid off a couple of months ago and you're just looking for a new role, just go about your business of looking for a new role. You don't need to. I wouldn't one hide it, but two, you don't need to shout about it either that you're looking for a new role in that gap.
Okay, got it. And then we have a few questions from candidates just around if they're currently outside of the UK and job
Yes.
hunting in the UK, how should they position that on LinkedIn? Like, for instance, is it worth them lying about their locate, or not lying, I guess, but putting sort of
Yeah.
UK as their location or that sort of
I,
thing, or what would you recommend?
there's no reason why you can't put when you in your location that you are. If you're looking to get a role in the UK, there's no reason why that you can't put as your region that you're based currently in the UK. Again, it's not lying, it's just more you want to attract the right type of opportunities to you. And also when you are applying to make it a bit more simple. So if you can get over to the UK to work and that's your goal, I would just I know a lot of people who I've worked with, they may want to roll in, let's say US, or US may want to, or someone may want to roll in the UK, and they literally just have that as their region of where they're based. So there's no problem with doing that. It'll probably make things a little bit more simple if you just put United Kingdom on your address in your area, just so that people are a bit more clear. Then when you're on a call with them and they kind of speak to you, you can say, "Oh, I'm currently based overseas. I'm currently based in XYZ, but I will be moving over there for this role." Again, people will generally used to that. So no, there's no harm in putting United Kingdom on your LinkedIn, because then when you are applying for jobs, it'll just make it simpler. But also, if people are looking for candidates like yourself, they'll be able to find you easier.
Okay, that's really useful. We typically do recommend that to candidates as well in terms of them putting their kind of aspirational location or where they're
Yeah.
job hunting.
Otherwise,
Um,
it can just confuse people. And I think everything that you're doing, always think of aspirational, like aspirational job title that you're going for. Obviously, be honest, but make it. You don't want to make. You got to think the different hiring managers are going to be speaking to lots of different people. Just make their job easier, or to not filter you out of the process just because they think, oh, you're based somewhere else, so how could you do the role here? If you know you can move here quickly, then put United Kingdom.
Okay, awesome. That's really helpful. So we probably have time for one or two more questions. So just a very quick one is, what is the best, if you have no work experience, and you've already touched on this, I think, in your former slides, what's
Yeah.
the best way of positioning your sort of academic experience to come across well on LinkedIn?
I would just hone into anything and everything that you've learned within your academic experience. So anything, any projects that you've worked on, or anything that you can actually draw out, I would hone into that. If you've got anything in there where you've like learned particular skills, or you've become passionate about something, everyone's got some kind of experience, whether it's paid for experience or through academic and projects. So hone into that really, and just talk more about your aspirations, your passions, what you're looking to achieve, what you've enjoyed learning, and kind of projects really that you worked on, and kind of how you led that, or what you got from that, what your experience was with that. But everyone has to start somewhere, like whether we like it or not, everyone's got to start with something. So it's, that's how we all start out in the workforce. So lean into any experience you've got, even from an academic point of view with projects, and then lean into passions and, I suppose, goals that you've got and what you want to do moving forwards.
And is it worth, if you have kind of sort of work related sort of academic experiences, is it, if you, particularly if you have no other work experience you can put on LinkedIn, is it worth putting, so say for instance, you've been in your university consulting society or done a big project or something like that, is it worth putting those experience points in your work experience or keeping them in your academic experience, would you say, on LinkedIn?
I would, if you've done something like that for your university, I'd put that into your LinkedIn, so you've got something on there as experience, and then also put that you were at university studying. So you can put it on if you've got a project experience that you've been doing, so at least you've got started with something. You can put it in both essentially, but I would say there's no reason why you can't put it in your work experience if it's been involved in a project, because again, we all have to start somewhere. So you may want to, let's say in 5, 10 years time, take that out, but it's nice to have something in there for now.
Okay, Yeah, that's great advice. We would definitely recommend the same as well. And so just one final question as well is how important is commenting on other people's LinkedIn posts in terms of sort of improving your score or how the algorithm ranks you and your visibility on LinkedIn?
It's really, really important. One, because LinkedIn are tracking your social engagement, so they do reward people who are commenting because they see you as using LinkedIn in the right way, that you're adding to the community. But also, if you think about leverage and rule of reciprocity, where if you're commenting on other people's posts, then when you post something, they're more likely to comment on yours. So there's that point of view. But also, if you're commenting, let's say on hiring managers' posts or people in the industry's posts or alumni's posts or each other's posts, then other people are going to see your comment and then probably want to connect with you or kind of speak back and forth with you. So commenting is huge, and it's a huge way to differentiate yourself because still not loads of people leverage it as well as they should. But if you're commenting, like for example, when people comment on my post, then I remember them because I think, oh, okay, you have lots of people DM you, but comments, people feel like, oh, actually, this person's took time to comment. So, one, you connect with new people. Two, people can actually see that you've actually commented and connect with you that way. But also, LinkedIn do reward people who are commenting by showing your profile to more people, whether it's recruiters, whether it's your post, impressions do improve. So, definitely do it. And again, it helps grow your network, but also it helps grow your LinkedIn profile as well.
Okay, awesome. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, I think that is all we have time for. So, Keisha, thank you very much again for that. That was extremely helpful. I think that's probably our most kind of actionable, useful webinar we've had so far. So that's
You're
very, very
welcome.
helpful. And thank you everyone for attending as well. And we'll be sure to share the recording after this if you want to kind of go back and review any of the specific points. Also, we'll probably follow up with a very brief email. And if you had a positive experience today, we would be extremely grateful for a good Trustpilot review as well. But we'll follow up via email about that as well. But yeah, thank you very much for attending, everyone. And I know there's one or two questions we've missed, so feel free to shoot us an email as well, and we can get back to you on those. But yeah, thank you again, and thank you, Keisha, in particular. That was fantastic.
You're welcome. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day as well.
Cool. Thanks so
Okay, bye
much,
bye.
everyone.
See you soon.
Okay,
Bye
bye bye.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.